Hi class, this is Miss Rodriguez, and today we're going to go over 1.2 and we're going to focus on classroom conversations. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is I want you to think about what we learned yesterday. Okay, the book, The Mudslide, and I want you to think about the text. What did you learn from the text and how does it relate to you in your own life? Could you relate to that at all? I know for me, when the wife was saying, like, oh no, don't take that detour, that's going to lead to trouble, I could find myself relating to that because I'm always telling my husband and my kids to stay out of trouble and to stay safe. And that's just kind of what moms do. So I know for me, I kind of chuckled as I read that because I could totally relate and see myself saying that. But have you ever, gone somewhere and gotten into trouble and went on a detour and something bad happened because you went on a detour? Or did you go on a detour and something great happened? But have you ever thought of a time in your life where maybe you just kind of went off about the roundabout way and went on a detour? So I want you to think, okay? Now, whenever we have these classroom conversations, we have to have rules for conversation because it's important that we're being respectful and kind and that we're putting forth information and participating too, right? It's really important that you participate because we want to hear your thoughts and how it relates to you. And that's kind of the beauty of things is everybody's so different. And it's going to relate to you in a different way than somebody else. And your opinion will open up views for other people. Also, it's important for you to listen to other people because we all learn from each other, right? And we all get something from there, or if somebody sees it a different way, it's like, oh, I never thought of it that way. So it's so powerful when we come together and have those conversations. But we have to have rules to make sure it is productive, okay? So first thing is be prepared. Make sure that you read the text yesterday before you start our conversation, right? And maybe if you forget it, maybe go back to yesterday's assignment and reread the text or re-listen to my video, okay? Think about that and think about, what am I going to say? Usually if we're in a classroom setting, we would take turns and you would only speak when it's your turn and you would be respectful and listen until somebody's done speaking until it's time to make your point or your turn. In this case, though, we're going to use Flipgrid because of distance learning or remote learning to do our conversations. So that's not really going to apply right now, but in the future, if we Zoom during a classroom conversation or in the event that we do go back to school, we want to make sure that we're being respectful to the speaker. Using good listening skills, we want to listen closely in order to add to the conversation, right? I want you guys to keep adding to conversations. That's an important part. But we need to listen to others that people are saying so we could respond appropriately, right? If somebody's saying my favorite color is yellow, or someone said one time I went on a detour and I found a bunny rabbit, okay? And if you respond to, yeah, I like dogs too. It's like, where did that come from, right? So you always want to respond appropriately and listen closely so you know how to respond to what your classmates are saying, okay? Stay on topic. Talk about the topic of conversation. Before you contribute, be sure to think about how you want to respond to another speaker and what point you want to make. So think about it before you just respond, okay? Think about the ideas that people have discussed and think about how your own ideas are changing as a result of the conversation. So as I said, sometimes when we listen to others, sometimes we think, oh, I never thought of it that way. Be polite, listen politely. You may not always agree, and that's okay, okay? We don't always have to agree with everybody, and you can still be friends with somebody even though you disagree with them. But we want to at least take what they have to say and respond in a respectful and polite way. So I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? So here's our conversation starter for today. It says, Anna does not want the family to detour from hiking to go rock climbing because of a previous experience that ended badly. Have you ever had a similar detour that ended badly? So here's your conversation starter. One time I went blank with my friends, okay? Maybe one time I went to the movies with my friends. and we were surprised when the movie was sold out, or whatever the case may be. Okay. So I want you to think about this. Okay. And tell me, and it doesn't necessarily have to end badly. Okay. You can tell me, anytime you planned on something but had a detour and something else happened. I want you to type your answer here. Okay. And you're going to turn back in this Google slide to me. And you're going to type your answer there. It's important to, before you say what you're thinking, to write it out. Okay. And kind of have a plan. So that's why I want you to type it right here, where it says type your answer here. Okay. Then I'm going to have you go onto Flipgrid. Okay. I'm going to put the link in the Google Classroom for you to go to Flipgrid. Flipgrid is where you're going to record yourself answering the question that you wrote here. Okay. So that one time when I went blank with my friends and we were surprised when, okay, you're going to record that on your Flipgrid. Okay. Using your sentence starter, keeping it just to there. Okay. You can add on and say, I related to Anna and this story by, or relating it to the stories. Okay. Okay. Then what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you watch your classmates' videos, and I want you to respond to their videos. Okay. Using the prompts on the next slide. So here are some prompts. Okay. So when you're watching the videos, remember, you want to be able to listen to others and see their point of view, and it might make you think or wonder about other things, or it might just help you get to know somebody better. And that's cool too. But here are some statements that you could use when you are viewing other people's videos. I noticed that. Maybe you noticed that you all had the same experience. Or in my opinion, whatever your opinion is, it's okay, but be polite and respectful. Okay. What do you think? Do you have a different idea? You can say, adding on to what Sally said, I think that's a great idea. Okay. In addition, I learned that you made a good point. I hadn't thought about it that way. I understand, Sally, but this isn't clear. Can you add that part? If you're asking for more information. Another conversation starter, response to a conversation. Could be, I agree with Daniel. I also think hiking is a great idea. I agree, but hiking can sometimes be dangerous. Or I disagree because it was a one-time event. Whatever the case may be, I'm filling in some of the blanks, but these are great conversation responses to people. That's true. But on the other hand, did you think about, XYZ? Okay. You could also cite evidence. So use statements such as these to ask for evidence or offer text evidence. Okay. You can say, what makes you think so? Or the reason I think blank is that blank. Okay. And you're going to type your answer here in a response to somebody's video. Okay. So I want you to watch somebody else's video after you make your own, and then just type your response here. Okay. There is a feature on Flipgrid where you could respond to somebody's video with another video. As long as you're being polite and respectful with it, you could respond to their video and say, you could even respond with, thank you for sharing. I appreciate your viewpoint. Or, wow, I can't believe that happened. I'm so glad that it didn't end badly. Or, that's a really cool story. Or, thank you for sharing. So you could also say really nice things with them. Okay. And they can respond back with, thank you. I'm glad you watched my video. Okay. So just making sure that we're being always kind and respectful back and forth to each other. And just having those conversations. So you guys could have those conversations on your Flipgrid. Okay. So I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. So you're going to do two things. So you're going to write it on here where it says type your answer. Okay. And you are going to record it on Flipgrid. Okay. So the reason I want you to do both is one, it's going to take care of your talking. on Flipgrid, right? And then you're listening because you're listening to others. And then you're writing on here. So it's going to cover all sorts of standards that we want to hit in ELD, right? We want to listen, we want to speak, we want to write, and you're reading the slide deck. So it covers all of them. Okay. Have fun, enjoy it, and happy Friday.